Okay, good morning again. As we discussed earlier in the last class, today and this period we are using to complete or recapitalizing the chapter presentation of data. Presentation of data. Okay, so there are various methods are there related with presenting a data. So we know that it's a important part in statistics. We are collecting data, organizing data, later we want to present data before interpreting that, So presentation is too much important for us. Okay, so Amalaj, can you tell me what are the different methods we will use to present a statistical data? Statistical data, tell me. What are the various methods?
The pie chart.
So you want to speak in an order here, okay? So one by one.
Order.
The first one. What is the first method? So in the textbook on this chapter, we study different methods. Tell me one by one. What is the first method?
First,
Can anyone?
Bar diagrams.
Before that?
Textual presentation.
Who is that? Who is this? Who told that answer? Is it Hannah? Okay, it's that correct. Textual presentation. Okay, we're starting from there, right? Textual presentation of data. Textual presentation of data. That's the most important one. In the beginning, we discussed that. What do you mean by textual presentation? So, what is the importance of textual presentation? Descriptions are there. Okay, so related with the time, space, and period, everything is perfectly described in the textual presentation of data. Textual presentation of data. So that is authentic and that is reliable. Okay, we are able to understand various features from that particular paragraph. Okay, what our problem is there? We want to keenly observe that. Then only we will get the accurate message from that. Okay, but a single glance it is difficult to understand the entire data or understand the meaning of the entire situation. It's difficult in a textual presentation of data. To overcome the difficulty, okay, of problem of understanding, we utilized or we using some other methods to present the data. Okay, so textual representation, leave that. So it's a method basically that is, we can say, descriptive type it is. Okay, the textual presentation always it is a descriptive. All description we are able to find from that, but at a glance or by a single look we are unable to understand the all information or unable to analyze all information from a textual presentation. That's a drawback of a textual presentation. What is the second method?
Tabular representation of data.
Yes, of course, tabular presentation of data. So what is the importance of tabular representation of data? All detail we are able to find from a table. Okay, but descriptions cannot be there. We are unable to find out the description, when, where, why, and those kind of things we are unable to find out. Only data are there in a table. So that's the importance of a tabular presentation of data. So there are a number of features are there for a table. Let's just have a look at that. So I'm going to share my screen here. Just observe here. So we know that tabular presentation of data. So basically the table representing even large amount of data. Okay, so basically we are able to find a large amount of data in a table. So many data we are able to include, many sets of data we are able to include in a table or a tabular presentation of data. That is related with 4 factors. What are they? Qualitative data, quantitative data, temporal, okay, or spatial. We know that what is qualitative classification? When the classification is done according to traits such as physical status, nationality, social status, etc., is known as qualitative classification. Quality of a particular set of data. Quality. Next one, quantitative nature. Okay, height, weight. Okay, so quantity we are able to represent through a table. So that is the importance of quantitative classification, both the quality and the quantity. Next one, temporal classification. Again, we are divided related with the based on time. It's called to be temporal time. So categorizing variable data according to time, years, months, weeks, days, etc. Next one, spatial classification. When the categorization is done on the basis of location, it is called a spatial classification. The place may be a country, state, district, block, village, or etc. Okay, so 4 types of classifications are there in a table. One is qualitative, another is quantitative, and temporal, time-based classification. Next one, space-based classification. So almost all these data we are able to present through a table, Okay, so there are number of parts are there for a table. We know that, what are they basically? What are the parts of a table? We know that table number, that is compulsory for a table. Table number is a compulsory one. Next one, title, heading for the table. Head note. So you can see here, it's the third item just above the table show after the title. It will give the information about the unit of data like amount, quantity, like that. Okay, so that's going to be head note. Next one, caption or column heading. Steps or row heading, body of the table, source note, footnote. So examination on chances there may be asked, what are the main parts of a table? What are the main parts of a table? What are the main parts of a table? So this is the answer for that question. All these notes are there with you, right? Notes are there or not? Are you already uploaded? Okay, you printed that, right? Yes, that's good. We just not so take the printout of these things and keep it with you safely. Okay, because we require all these things for the next use. So you can see here heading, table number, title, head note, caption, subhead or the row heading, body of the table. Okay, like that almost all the information are here. Source note is here and footnote here. Footnote here. So this is the part of a table. So the question is important. So what are the objectives of tabulation? Simplify the complex data, bring out the essential features from the data, facilitate a comparison, facilitate statistical analysis, and saving of space. Okay, so basically in textual presentation of data, we require more space to write almost all the things are related with the description or including the description. But here we are avoiding the description and only data we are presenting in the table. So these are the objective of a table or the tabular presentation. Okay. Same time, limitations also are there for this tabular presentation, like lacks description. We already know that. In the textual presentation, description will be there, but in the tabular presentation, it's lack description. There is no description. Okay. Incapable of presenting individual items. Okay. Only a set of data we are able to find in a table there. Individual item, that is not a table is not necessary for presenting an individual item. Okay. Needs special knowledge. So layman or the people, those who don't have that much knowledge to read this kind of table, they are unable to understand what is basically mentioned in that table. Special knowledge is required to understand, read, and analyze a table. So it is too important in statistics to present data. Tabular presentation is too important for us. Tabular presentation. So questions are there. First question, we discussed what are the parts of a table. Next one, what are the objectives of a table. And already we discussed what are the different types of classification. Okay, quantitative, qualitative, spatial, and temporal. Spatial and temporal classifications are there. Next one, objectives of a tabulation. That is an important question. The next question is what are the 3 limitations of a table? What are the limitations of a table? So all these things you should learn properly. So all these questions should be noted down properly there. Okay, so this chapter is too important for the examination. So note down properly. Want to learn carefully. So we're moving to its next set. Okay, so you know that this movement is vertical one is the columns and horizontal one is rows there. Okay, so next one we are moving to its another set of data, not another method to present the data. You know that. What is that another method? What is another method? What is another method? What is another method? One is
Diagrammatic presentation of data.
Diagrammatic presentation. So wait for a moment. I will show that. What is diagrammatic presentation? So diagrammatic presentation, we know that various methods we are basically using to present the data. Okay, so here it is. Wait for a moment. Okay, can you see the screen now? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next set is called to be visual presentation of statistical data. Visual presentation. So each method is important. There are a number of questions are there related with each section. Okay, first of all, we are moving towards diagrammatic presentation. Diagrammatic presentation. In the diagrammatic presentation, many methods are there like a geometric diagram, frequency diagram, arithmetic line graph, or time series graph. So we discussed almost all these things in the class. Not almost all the things, everything we discuss here. So the geometric diagram again can be divided into bar diagrams and pie diagram. Bar diagrams and pie diagram. So bar diagram again we know that is simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, component bar diagram or subdivided bar diagram. One more it is percentage bar diagram. Percentage bar diagram. So you know that how to construct a simple bar diagram. Any doubt is there related with the construction of simple bar diagram? Any doubts are there? You know it or not? Please give me the answer. Hello?
Sir.
I can hear.
Yes, sir.
You fine. So next one, multiple bar diagram. Multiple bar diagram. So it is simple only. So multiple bar diagram in the sense we are using number of bars to represent the different set of data. Different set of data. Multiple bar diagram. Next one, subdivided bar diagram. Within the group, subsets are there. We will use this method. Subdivided bar diagram. Within the set of data, subsets are there. We will basically use a subdivided bar diagram. Next one, it is percentage bar diagram. Total data we will converting into percentage and we will depict or draw that diagram or the graph. So it's called to be percentage bar diagram. Percentage bar diagram. Next one is called to be pie diagram. Pie diagram. So what is the importance of this visual presentation of data? Simply, easily with a glance, a person can understand the message. Okay. That's what the importance of visual presentation of data. The next set is called to be frequency diagrams. Frequency diagram. Frequency diagram, we know that histogram. We studied that frequency polygon. Okay. Frequency curve. Yesterday we studied about Ogive. That is two types. That's less than Ogive and more than Ogive. More than Ogive. So histogram, frequency polygon, and frequency curve and Ogive basically helpful us to find out the median and mode. Median and mode also. Median and mode also. Next one, arithmetic line graph. The last method is arithmetic line graph. We studied that too. Okay, single arithmetic line graph and multiple arithmetic line graph. Next one, merits of diagrammatic and graphic presentation. So that's a question. Write down what are the merits of a diagrammatic graphic presentation. Okay, merits of diagrammatic and graphic presentation. It is simple and understandable information. It is giving a lasting impact in our mind. No need of training or specialized knowledge is required to analyze or read and understand this kind of graphical presentation. And it is attractive and effective means of presentation. A quick comparative at a glance. Informative and entertaining one. Okay, location of averages. We are able to find the mean, median, mode by this diagrammatic presentation. Study of correlation. Easily we are able to find out the differences between two different sets of data or more than two different sets of data. We are able to analyze that easily. Analyze data easily. That's important here. Okay, so we know that limitations also are there for the graphical presentation of data here. Limited use is there. Okay, every time we are unable to use these methods there. Next one, misuse. Okay, misuse also are there. So the people, those who are not that much aware about this kind of things, they can misuse that also. So trouble will be there. Next one, only preliminary conclusions are there. First set of conclusions we are able to find from a graphical presentation of data. No descriptions are available. No descriptions are available. So this is an example for a simple bar diagram. Simple bar diagram. Okay. So you know that x-axis, y-axis. Construction is clear, right? You know the construction, right? Okay. Almost all these things you already studied in the junior classes like class 9 and 10. Class 9 and 10 there. So there is no confusion here. Okay. So that's the thing. Presentation. Next one is called a multiple bar diagram. We know that two sets of data. Two sets of data is here. One is input and other is export. So it's an example for a multiple bar diagram. Multiple bar diagram. Next one it is, you know, that is a subdivided bar diagram. Subdivided bar diagram. Within the set, subsets we are able to find A, B, C, D, E. Like that, subsets we are able to find. So that time we were using a subdivided bar diagram. Subdivided bar diagram. Hope you know this also. Okay. So any doubts are there related with the subdivided bar diagram? Anybody? You know how to construct a subdivided bar diagram, right?
Yes, sir.
percentage bar diagram, almost like a subdivided bar diagram. But the thing here is we want to convert the entire data into percentages. Okay, so related with this percentage bar diagram, there is a problem. If your calculation goes wrong, total construction also will go wrong. Okay, so be aware or be careful about the calculation, converting the data into percentage. That's the important calculation here needed. Okay, next one. Number of examples we already completed that. The next presentation method is called to be pie diagram. We know that. Okay, so advantages are there. What are the advantages of a pie diagram and what are the disadvantages of a pie chart? These two things also want to learn properly. Example for the questions that are coming for the examination. Okay, advantages of pie chart, we know that the picture is a simple and easy to understand. If the picture means the pie chart itself, the picture simple and easy to understand. Data can be represented visually as a fractal part of a whole data. Okay, so visually we are able to find the entire data related with its slices or fractions. Okay, the whole data that can be divided into different slices. So easily we are able to understand at a glance. It helps to providing an effective communication tool for even uninformed audience. Okay, even a layman also can, technologically backward people, they are also able to understand these things easily. Okay, provide data comparison for the audience at a glance to give an immediate analysis or a quickly understand information. So people can easily analyze and compare different sets of data by observing a pie chart. No need of readers to examine or measure underlying numbers themselves, which can be removed by using this chart. So no numbers are required basically to understand the difference between different set of data or different slices, because numbers are not that much necessary. If numbers is there also there is no problem with that, but always colors and what we can say, that shades that presenting the set of data here. To emphasize the few points you want to make, you can manipulate pieces of data in the pie chart. So how many subsets are there, how many slices are there, we are able to draw it or we are able to create data easily in a pie chart. Okay, the same time disadvantages also are there for a pie chart. What are they? It becomes less effective if there are too many pieces of data to use. So too many pieces or too many slices are there, too many informations are there in a single set of data, it is difficult to convey the message through a pie chart. Okay, because it will become very clumsy and unable to understand that. Okay, if there are too many pieces of data, and even if you are data labels and numbers may not help here. So too many sets of data, if you are adding the numbers or descriptions also, we are unable to understand that. They themselves may become crowded and hard to read. So many data we are including in the same pie chart, it will look awkward, and at the same time it will become crowded. Many pieces are there, so unable to understand the importance of each slice here. So as this chart only present one data set, you need a series to compare multiple sets there. So one pie chart always shows one set of data or represent one set of data. So if you want to compare various set of data, basically we require many number of pie charts we required. This may make it more difficult for readers when it comes to analyze and assimilate information quickly. So it will create problem for the readers to understand and move to a conclusion quickly. Okay, because number of pie charts required to present a different set of data. So these are the two questions related with the pie chart. Advantages of a pie chart and a disadvantage of a pie chart. At the same time, we already discussed about advantages of visual presentation and disadvantages of a visual presentation also. Okay, and advantages of a tabular presentation and disadvantages of a tabular presentation. So all these questions are too important for us. Okay, next one, the most important one here, that is histogram. Okay, what is a histogram? Or how to construct that? Okay, how to make a histogram? So all these things we already discussed. So what is the difference, basic difference between a histogram and a multiple bar diagram? A simple bar diagram. What is the difference?
It is a two-dimensional figure.
That's it's two-dimensional figure, correct? And at the same time, there is no gap between two bars, right? There is no gap between two bars in a histogram. Okay. One after the other, continuously the things will go, and it always showing a double staircase structure. Okay, so you know that the method here, both axes we are using there. Scales also important here. Class intervals need to be exclusive. Okay, class intervals is not that much important for us, right or not? Is that exclusive or inclusive? Class intervals.
Exclusive.
Exclusive method. Okay, so listen carefully. So by constructing a bar diagram, histogram, we are able to create a frequency polygon and a frequency curve. Frequency polygon and a frequency curve. Differences are there, right? So here are the differences between a bar diagram and a histogram. That's a question. What are the differences between two histogram and a bar graph? First of all, histogram is a two-dimensional one. Bar diagram is a mono or single dimensional one. The frequency is shown by the area of each rectangle. So otherwise it is called to be an area diagram. Area diagram. Histogram is otherwise called as an area diagram. Bar graph, the height shows the frequency and the width has a no significance. No significance. But here in the frequency, histogram, both height and width matters. Height and width matters. It shows a rectangle touching each other. Rectangles that are touching each other. Okay, so it's a double staircase structure will be there. Okay, rectangles that always touch into each other. So that's important here. Next, when we discuss about histogram, with the use of a histogram, we are able to draw a frequency polygon and a frequency curve. Frequency polygon and a frequency curve. So we are finding out the midpoint of each rectangle. Okay, upper limit of each rectangle, and we are connecting all those dot lines with a scale. Okay. And the first bars midpoint toward the origin, and the last bars midpoint toward the parallel line should be dotted line. That's called a frequency polygon. Frequency curve means we are connecting all those midpoints with a free hand. Okay, so that's called a frequency curve. So that was important. How to construct a frequency polygon and a frequency curve. So these are the example for a histogram. So next question, this is an important question. How is a histogram constructed and how does it different from a frequency polygon? Difference between a histogram and a frequency polygon. What is frequency distribution curve? What is a frequency distribution curve? Write down what is histogram. What is a histogram? Next one, define frequency polygon. Define a frequency polygon. What is frequency curve? What is a frequency curve? All these questions are too important for us. Okay. Do you already noted all these questions, I think, right? Yes or no? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all these questions are important. If you someone is failed to note down all these questions, just write down all these questions and regularly. Today, hereafter, I will give you some homeworks for you. Regularly, you should learn some set of questions there. Minimum 3 to 4 questions. Aishwarya, any problem? Too many homeworks are there? Huh? Many classes are there, many homeworks are there. Okay, so okay, let it. Okay, or 1 or 2 questions I will give regularly. You should study that. Okay, here after that is a practice for us people before the examination. Almost all the portions should be covered properly and should be ready for the examination. Thoroughly, you should read, analyze all the questions and all the topics properly. Okay, so no time for us to waste. Okay. So these questions are important. Hope you wrote all that questions. Next one, we discussed about day before yesterday. We completed this preparation of a JV, cumulative curves. What are the two methods of drawing cumulative curve or constructing cumulative curve? One is
Less than ogive and more than ogive.
Yeah, less than ogive and more than ogive. Less than ogive and more than ogive. Hope you understood the calculation methods there. Calculation method, right? Next one, arithmetic line graph. So question is existing here. What are ogive or cumulative curve? What are ogives and cumulative curve? And what are the two methods to draw cumulative curves? Cumulative curves or ogive. Both methods you want to learn properly. Next one, arithmetic line graph. Arithmetic line graph. Arithmetic line. How to construct an arithmetic line graph? What is the importance of arithmetic line graph? What are the advantages and disadvantages? Okay, I will show you that. Wait for a moment. Okay, so that is textual presentation to the arithmetic line graph. Arithmetic line graph. So textual presentation, number of questions are related with the textual presentation. Want to learn all those things properly here. Okay. Next one, we discussed about the drawbacks and importance of a tabular presentation and what are the parts of a table, what are the advantages and disadvantages. And visual presentation of data. In visual presentation of data, graphical presentation, we discussed histogram, frequency polygon, frequency curve. Okay, Next method, it is called to be the ogive method. That also we discussed more than ogive and less than ogive. And the last one, it is called to be arithmetic line graph. Arithmetic line graph. So we are going to going here. What do you mean arithmetic line graph? Arithmetic line graph. Just observe here carefully. So arithmetic line graph. So arithmetic line graph also we know that that's a graphical presentation of data. Graphical presentation of data basically related with time only. Related with time. Okay, you can see here x-axis and the corresponding value of the variable along with the y-axis. Okay, so arithmetic line graph along the time series graph, otherwise it's called to be time series graph, can mainly be two types of one variable graph. One is a one variable graph. We are able to find only one line here. Otherwise, our next method is two or more than two variable graph. Two or more than two variable graph also able to present. Okay, so you can see here in this data 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16. That is the years mentioned here. That should be in the x-axis. Okay, time related data should be there in the x-axis, and other data should be there in the y-axis. Y-axis, and finally we are finding the points here and connecting that with the help of a scale. So you got a arithmetic line graph. Okay, so the question is, so what do you mean arithmetic line graph? An arithmetic line graph is also called a time series graph. In this graph, time, hour, day, date, week, month, year is plotted along in the x-axis, and all other corresponding data in the y-axis. In the y-axis. Okay, basically to compare two different sets of data also we are using this time series graph. Okay, and it is able to compare easily. We are able to compare by using an arithmetic line graph. Two sets of data we are able to compare. Okay, so here you can see that already I provided a question. Most of you people that they presented that answers here, and a number of students still they not completed the homework. Okay, so please keep that in your mind. If one homework is provided, just to complete that in time. Complete that in a time there. Okay, do you have any doubt related with all these topics there? Just to discuss. Okay, so I am going to wind up this chapter. Okay, so any doubts are there, means you can tell me. I will explain that again. No problem. Any doubts are there? Annette, Anthony, any problem? Any doubts?
No, sir.
No. Anyone? Pavitra? You know all the methods, how to construct all these things, right? Pavitra? Pavitra, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that okay? All these things are clear or not?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And Subhampal, are you there, Subhampal? Is all these ideas clear or not, Subhampal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Amalraj?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no doubt. Karthik, any doubt?
Yep.
No, sir.
Okay. What about Basil Bashir?
No, sir.
No doubts at all. Okay. Okay. So these are the basic things that are related with the chapter. Presentation of data. Presentation of data. Okay. So I already told you some of the questions. We discussed some of the questions here. Now write down some questions. We want to learn that for tomorrow. Learn that for tomorrow. Okay. Make it fast. Write down. What is the importance of presentation of data? What is the importance of presentation of data? And how it is helpful for interpreting data? And how it is helpful for interpreting data? How it is helpful for interpreting data? How it is helpful for interpreting data? Okay, only one question enough. Okay, find out the answer, learn that well, and the next chapter, that is application, is there for this question. So you are unable to find this answer in the textbook. You have to carefully observe the chapter, then you are able to write that answer there. Okay, many points are there. We already discussed before this session. So all those sessions, all those notes you want to observe carefully, and you are able to find out the answer from those lecture notes there. Okay, so always you are write the lecture note and keep it with you. Okay, when we are meeting, I mean, when the class starts, you have to submit all these lecture notes, all these printed notes and everything, right? Okay, don't make any error or don't make any problem related with your homeworks. Femina, can you hear me? Femina?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all notes are printed and kept safely, right? Yes or no? Femina, can you hear me? Femina?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, fine. Okay, thank you guys. We will meet in the next class. Thank you very much.